In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, cure lust with the Jesus prayer. We can understand which thoughts and desires we have using consciousness, observing them and separating ourselves from those desires, especially sinful desires. And of course, God helps immensely when you follow Him to do this in the best way possible. I want to talk about the habits that I had for years. Meditation. Basically, it's when you concentrate on your breath and you just observe your thoughts, you ignore them, and once you understand that you are thinking about something else rather than your breath, you go back to your breath, and this is like doing one push-up for your mental health. So I was practicing this habit for a few years, and I even went to Vipassana. This is a practice when you go in some location. It is usually located and like nature is beautiful everywhere around you. You are far away from civilization, and you meditate for 10 hours, trying to concentrate on your breath and on scanning your body, on sensations in it. And yes, that's how miserable I was before I knew God, and before I started to follow Him full-heartedly. This is what I was doing in order to prevent myself from self-destruction, which I was doing daily when I was living without God. And by saying that, I just wanted to express to you that even though I was not super consistent in this habit of meditation, sometimes I didn't do it for months, for a few months in a row. Then for some period I did it like for an hour per day for a few months, and I have some experience in it. But after I started to follow God full-heartedly, or at least what I consider now saying the word full-heartedly, because every time I follow God, I then see how much I lack the desire of following Him with everything I have. So it's like a beautiful climb to be closer to God. But so once I started to follow God and treat it more serious, I just understood how empty this habit is, because you just sit here observing your breath, and where is God? And especially it was a big contrast for me, because before I quit this habit, I used to do it before I pray. So like I wake up and almost the first thing that I do is praying with the morning rule. So in order to organize my thoughts and for my pray to be better, I was like preparing for my pray with 10 minutes of meditation. But I felt how empty it is. And then I remembered about the Jesus prayer, and it became so obvious for me how much better it is for me to spend 10 minutes praying with Jesus prayer before my morning rule, rather than doing 10 minutes of meditation. So how I do it practically: basically I sit in front of my icons, my Bible, the book where I have the text of my prayers, and I set an alarm 10 or 11 minutes ahead, and then I basically sit still and I start to say the words of this prayer, and you you have some choices here. I think it's the best for you to try all those different methods by yourself and just to feel which one is better for you. So you can say this prayer with your mouth, with your tongue, or you can say this prayer in your mind, and also you can make a separate effort to put your heart into this prayer, like to pray not only with words but with your heart and soul. So for me, what works the best for me is to pray almost silently by still moving my tongue, saying the words of this prayer, and at the same time actively thinking about the words of this prayer, synchronizing those two activities, and also doing a separate effort of putting my soul and heart to feel this prayer, if you understand what I mean, and I am sure that you understand what I mean. So basically you can experiment with which works for you better, like saying it only with your tongue or only in your mind, or I think like I found the best option for me, which I already told you about right now. And I especially think that the best time you can do it is, of course, at any moment of your time. Basically, you can do some activities, especially those one which doesn't require some dedicated effort, and you can do them automatically, and you can pray at the same moment. Whenever you feel bad or good, you can just pray to God as you know it already. But I found it especially beneficial when I put the Jesus prayer in my morning routine, and I do it not some particular amount of times, like I say this prayer in order to say my focus. I just set an alarm the same way I did it with meditation. I just set an alarm for 10 minutes and I sit here and I don't need to count how many times did I say those prayers, and I just pray with the text of this prayer. This is my advice for you today, because this helped me immensely. I feel that my morning rule, that my prayers with morning rule, they become better when I do this practice. My mind feels more concentrated, there are less trash thoughts in it, and basically I just dedicate, my focus is better, and I dedicate more of, I don't know how to say it, myself to pray when I do this preparation that took like 10 minutes, and you can start literally like with saying this prayer once, or like for 1 minute, for 30 seconds. It's normal, like the same way as you do it with meditation, or any habits, you do it gradually if it's something new and it feels hard for you. So you basically start with like saying this prayer once, or then setting a timer for 30 seconds and then a minute, and then after you did it for a few days successfully and you feel like you can improve, you add a few minutes, and there is no limit how long you can do it. Just for me 10 minutes is suitable, because I want to dedicate more times on prayers itself and on reading the Bible with the comments of Holy Fathers. So 10 minutes for me it's good. It's like a warm-up for my brain before a bigger prayer, and I think that it is a really beneficial practice, and why it can help you defeat lust, because of course consciousness is very important, due to the fact that you can basically separate yourself from sinful desires, and lust is just one of those sinful desires. So the next time after you've been practicing this habit for some period, and you already have some experience in going from your own thoughts back to the words of prayer and praying to God, the same way, once you will have this desire of lust, you will just be able, like you will have a new skill of being able to put your attention from this desire to God. Separate yourself from this desire to God. And this is how this prayer, the Jesus prayer, will help you to quit porn. I pray for your victory over lust, brother, and I wish you a good day. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.